Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of lesson 14.4. So this is when we are going to learn about like fractions. Just to recap, in our last lesson we were looking at comparing fractions on a number line and using a bar model. We were able to fill in this this number line down here. And then we were looking at just different fractions using, remember, the pi, and then on the number line we could see which fractions were bigger or smaller. And then we did the same thing on this page. And so today we're going to be talking about like fractions. So let's get started. Gina, Heather, and Rita each have an equal-sized paper plate for a craft project. Each girl divides her plate into 8 equal parts. So if we were at school right now, we would all have a paper plate and we would be folding it into 8 equal pieces. I really love to do that part of this so we can really see it when we color in each part of the pieces. So if you want to do that at home, you are welcome to do that if you have a paper plate lying around, or 3 of them actually. If not, just follow along here and hopefully it makes sense. So they're all dividing their same sized paper plate into 8 equal pieces. And if you were doing that at home, you would fold it in half first. That would make 2 pieces. Then you're going to fold that in half again, making 4 equal pieces, and then you fold it in half one more time, and that will give you 8 equal pieces. So all 3 girls did that, and then Gina decorated 3/8 of her plate. So she decorated 3 of those pieces out of her total of 8. Heather decorated 5/8, and Rita decorated 8/8. We already know that anytime we see a fraction that has the same number on the top and bottom, or as the numerator and denominator, that's the whole thing. So we know that Rita decorated her whole plate, so she's the one who decorated the most. And since we know that Gina only decorated 3 pieces out of a total of 8, Gina decorated the least. And then we can see that information down here since we don't have a plate available, or maybe you do at home, but we can see the same thing right here. So this is how much Gina decorated, 3 pieces out of a total of 8. Heather decorated 5 out of a total of 8, and Rita decorated 8 out of a total of 8. And we know that 5 is greater than 3, so 5/8 must be greater than 3/8. So we know that Heather decorated more than Gina. And then we know 8/8 is greater than 5/8. So Rita decorates more than Heather. And then we know 3/8 is less than 5/8 and 8/8. So Gina decorated less than Heather and Rita. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, guys. So these are like fractions. Like fractions have the same denominator. Notice all the denominators are 8 because all the girls split their plate into 8 equal pieces. Okay, so that's a like fraction. Okay, so let's just take a look at this page real quick. It says number 7, Danny and Keith buy an equal-sized pizza each. Danny eats 2/5 of his pizza and Keith eats 4/5 of his. Who eats less? Now, this one should be pretty obvious, right, guys? We can see it right here, and we can imagine that pizza and one of them eating 2 pieces out of 5 and the other one eating 4 pieces out of 5. So we know that in this situation, Danny eats less because he only had 2 pieces out of his total of 5, and Keith had more. Okay, number 8. Rachel bakes 2 equal-sized chicken pies. She cuts each pie into 6 equal parts. Clara eats 3/6 of a pie, and Priscilla eats 2/6 of the other pie. Okay, So we have two pies that are the same size. They're both cut into 6 equal pieces. And we can see here from the diagram that Clara ate more than Priscilla. So 3/6 is greater than 2/6. So in this case, Clara ate more of that chicken pie. Okay, and then down at the bottom it says Priscilla gives her remaining pie to Tom. So we can tell here that Priscilla only ate 2 pieces out of the total of 6. So it looks like she has 4 pieces left. So part B is asking us what fraction of the pie does Tom eat? And we can see that Tom eats 4/6 of the pie. Okay, and then part C says who eats the most? And we know that that would be Tom because he had 4/6. So that one is greater than the 2/6 and 3/6. So Tom eats the most. And let's go back and just double check. Priscilla only ate 2/6. So Priscilla eats the least. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do for this lesson today is learn how to use models like this to order like fractions. And when we order fractions, we are putting them in order either from greatest to least or from least to greatest. So in this case, they are asking us to order the fractions from greatest or biggest to least or smallest. And we can see from the models that 3/6 or 3 out of 6 would be bigger than 2 out of 6 and 1 out of 6. So when we're ordering fractions from greatest to least, we would put the greatest one first and then a comma and the next biggest one and then the smallest one after that. So if we look down here at number 9, this time we are starting with 7 equal pieces. So our denominator is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each model is split into those 7 equal pieces. So we can see from the model that 5/7 is bigger than 3/7, and they're both bigger than 2/7. So we can also figure that out without the model, really. If we just think about 3 pieces out of 7 versus 5 pieces out of 7, we know 5 is bigger, versus 2 pieces out of 7, we know would be the smallest. So this time it wants us to order them from least to greatest. So that means our smallest fraction would come here. So that would be our 2/7, and then our 3/7 would be next, and our greatest fraction would be 5/7. Okay, so today we learned about like fractions, which are fractions that have the same denominator. And tomorrow we'll be learning about unlike fractions. So that's going to be fractions that have different denominators. So I will see you then.